Hello everyone. Today compensation is the benefit which we'll be discussing in details. I will tell you what exactly are the parameters that needs to be kept in mind while deciding upon the wages, the salaries, the compensation, the perks, the now what there are certain questions that needs to be answered in this particular presentation which we will be addressing as with the passage of time. So, describe the basic issues. Did I say the parameters that needs to be determined? How an organization develop a wage and salary structures as a HR gentleman, as a HR lady, you are sole responsible for on behalf of the organization to develop a fair wage and salary structure. Describe the basic issues involved in wages and salary administration. Now, what are the consideration? What are the factors that you will take into account while understanding or describing the benefits program? So we need to have mandated results, mandated benefits, non-mandated benefits too. What are the other uh, non-monetary benefits, non-monetary incentive, non-monetary rewards? Discuss contemporary issues. What is the trend in the business, as in the business community is concerned? So, first and foremost, we'll have a survey collection. What exactly space survey would be or wage survey would be. So, it is all about information collecting with regard to an employee compensation, which includes essentially salary and benefits, as we call them salary surveys. So salary surveys are basically conducted with numerous employees, mind you, in the same industry. In the different companies in the same industry, we speak to different employers and existing pay scale in their respective company to determine the pay level for a specific job categories and are generally conducted within a region, specific region. Believe me or not, in different economies, as in countries we are talking around it, developed economy pay structures would be way different from an emerging economy or a less developed economy. So it is to be conducted within a region, within a sector, within a profile of a job for the purpose of clarity, understanding. Because once we can have this understanding, this comparison is taken forward, we can build upon it. Salary service in conjunction with other tools. Salary surveys can provide useful information to attract, support, and retain employees. Context of an overall HR and organizational plan. This is very true. So you need to understand we have other benefits also, we have other perks also. Now there are other incentives. Let's say we can have a flexible timings, right? So flexible timing is a great relaxation given to the employee. This flexible timing is one of the incentive which is non-monetary in nature but helps you in retaining a lot of employees and definitely valuable employees to your organization. So we need to build upon it as an overall organization or human resource plan is concerned. When designing a salary surveys, you need to understand what is the standard, what is the benchmark information. So we have to categorize it with one of the standards company, one of the, and this company might not be situated in your location at all. Remember, now please understand your organization, your company, your business unit is in a particular geographical location, but if it is to be paramount importance, always do not forget that your employee is mobile. He or she might jump from one region to another region, and with the passage of time, things have become much more smoother in terms of communication, information, transportation. So you need to benchmark yourself within a sector, within a region, within a geographical specification. You still need to benchmark with the best in the industry and ensure that you give a comparable and a competitive salary to your employees. So salary survey is a standard method of finding out what other organizations are paying for specific jobs for job classes. Later, organization in particularly routinely conduct compensation surveys to determine prevailing or existing pay rates and benefit. So basically you need to understand we are supposed to, let's say in a somebody from a subcontinent, let's say in Asia or in Africa, they actually move on to America, and but they are being paid into the Asian salaries or the African salaries, but they have to make an expenditure in dollar amount. Is it possible? So something similarly not unimaginable. So it needs to be understanding the prevailing rates and benefits that should not squeeze the employee out. Salary surveys not only determine the highs, the lows, obviously the average salary for any given position, but also provide a sense of what other organizations are paying. So if I'm working in organization A and I'm getting an X amount, probably if I toy with an idea of moving to organization B where I will again get an identical X amount, will I be motivated? Probably no. It has to be a X plus another X, so twice the salary. So then that would make a huge jump for me. So then it becomes understandable. Otherwise, if every similar organization for every similar position, if the salary structure is uniform, doesn't motivate an employee to jump from the existing organization to another one. Organization may purchase results of survey conducted by a variety of organizations, proficient in collection, analysis, distribution of salary data, and they may choose to conduct their own salary surveys. Please understand this thing. They may choose to conduct their own surveys as per the requirement of the organization. So please do go ahead when you are designing a salary structure for your employees or a would-be employees for a particular position or a new position that you might define. So, how do we define benefits? Most important to understand. Defining benefit is all about rewards, monetary, non monetary, incentive, monetary, non monetary, tangible, intangible, and things of value. Please understand things we have value. If you've seen in the photographs that I've given you to you, both are of incentives which are of non monetary requirement. Both are things of values which might be again non monetary. A certificate of appreciation. If you look out here, it's a certificate of appreciation or a vacation as has been given out here. So you need to understand simple things. Yes, and go about it. So benefits are rewards, incentives, and things of value. So now we come to exactly what exactly would be the pay structure. Pay structures are surveys of compensation that are being reimbursed to an employee for their services by the employer in any definite arena. When I say arena, it can be verticals, it can be industry, it can be area, it can be profile of a job, and so on and so forth. So this needs to be understood time. Now we will compare with wages and salaries. Now wages generally refer on an hourly base compensation paid to an operating employees. The basis of wages is just time, whereas salary is an income paid to an individual on the basis of time. So basically wages, if you want to go around it, it can be based on a piecemeal basis or piece hour basis. You might be paid at the end of an stipulated time, let's say 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, or at the end of a day, week. But salary essentially would be every fortnightly or monthly. So a matured curve is a schedule specifying the amount of annual increase a person will receive. So usually the increment is around 3%, 4%, which is a standard increment given to every individuals in an arena. But there are increments for outstanding performance in the tune of 18 to 22% also been awarded, and in between 10-12% for an above average performance is actually gone around it. But the maturity curve is the schedule specifying the number of months, days, or years after which you will have to get a mandatory 3% or 4% raise in your pay. Determining what to pay is job evaluation. Job evaluation is a method of determining the relative value or worth of a job to the organization so that the individual who perform the job can be compensated adequately and most importantly on a competitive scale, so he or she is happy with what the money he or she is receiving. So job evaluation, the relative value or the worth of the job. that an individual gets is what would be the job evaluation would. Now comes the classification system, attempts to group a set of jobs together into a cluster. So we might work as an account executive, a receptionist, or let's say a marketing executive. They might be clubbed despite belonging from different functional areas, might be clubbed under one particular salary structures. So the point system refers, remember the point system I've written marked it in a different font size altogether, requires managers to qualify in objective terms the value of various elements of the specific job. That is what the point system is all about. It number of jobs that you task around it, the number of good job or accomplished job that you finish is the point system that can be accrued upon when deciding on the salary. So let us go for skill based pay or a knowledge based pay. So pay for knowledge involve compensating employees based on specific information. Now there are many requirements where the employee needs to be technically sound or qualification wise sound or pertinent, otherwise his employment is not worthy enough. Let's say in a pharmaceutical industry one has to be a some kind of graduation in pharmaceutical studies. You need to go around it. Not anybody from any humanities background and any other background can come down and join the pharmaceutical industry, because this is all about medicine and life skills as you go around it. So skill based pay is another way of rewarding or acquiring a new skills for employee. Let's say a person who is working into a as a utility worker in a hotel industry and needs to move into the kitchen. He wants to become a chef or a commie. Now what he has to do, he has to improve upon his skill. He has to learn the trade, and thereafter, after acquiring the trade, only can his skill be based, his pay be improved, and position be changed altogether from a utility worker to the kitchen commie or the chef eventually. So wage and salary administration, if you look at the pic, it tells you what exactly is all about it. Is an ongoing process. Wage and salary administration is always an ongoing process. The structure needs to be tweaked, upgraded, updated as with the passage of time. All managers extremely should be sensitive to the cost. Please remember the cost of living is playing a havoc on the role of an employee. If you end up paying peanuts because whatever salary you must be paying doesn't fetches a decent living standard, employees will automatically get demotivated. So your salary structure should be very relevant and it should reflect the cost of living. Then comes the pay secrecy. Now, this is something which has been rampantly advised or probably practiced around the globe, where it refers that the compensation of an individual is a secret. Now, what has happened with the secrecy, or it has become partially open also to the extent which is formally available, made to individuals. So everybody knows in what particular pay band they are in, but what special allowances or other allowances that has been given is not known. Rest everything, all other parameters are same. So any X, Y, or Z, gentleman or lady as an employee, they might be working in the same similar position in different department and getting almost in the same identical pay band, but there might be one component which might be missing, which can be, let's say, a loyalty bonus or a performance bonus or performance pay band or something like that, which differentiate. And this can be a marked difference of 10 to 30% difference altogether. So the understanding is, you whatever salary that you earn from an organization, you don't up owning up or telling everything to everybody. Now this has been kept so that the unanimity and the motivation of the employees are kept at a perky level. Pay compression and pay inversion. Pay compression occurs when an individual with substantially different level of experiences and abilities are being paid for wages that are relatively equal. So somebody who is overly qualified and still working at a definitely a bit lower position is being compromised on the salary because he is not getting or she is not getting what he or she is worth for based on the qualification. But remember, he or she is performing the job not based on the qualification but as based on the profile that he or she is occupying. On the other hand, pay inversion occurs when the external market changes extremely fast, that the new employees are actually paid more than the experienced employees. Now, what we are seeing information technology company or the IT company, if you look into it, people who are fluent in the latest coding skills are being paid handsomely, despite the fact that they are just 20 something or early 30s. The possible pay inversion occurs when, despite your long stint in the organization, you end up not earning enough as a newcomer in the organization would be demanding or needs to be taken care of. I am sure about it. So these are the mandated benefit. Definitely comes out of the purview of the organization, but believe me, the organization pays something called a corporate tax, which is utilized to pay such kind of expenses by the government. And what are the non-mandated benefits? We have, all of us might have been pension plan. All of us might have put certain thing, some amount of money or some amount of saving into with some insurance company for their pension administration. Now this money comes handy when you are retired or probably you are jobless. So defined benefit plans is a private pension plan where you actually make money precisely based on a simple formula of a service which the organization pays back to you. That's a defined benefit plan that has been given. Then comes the defined contribution plan, wherein as an individual, as an employee, you contribute a portion of your salary to the company, and the company might give an equal amount of contribution or might not, but this money is invested on behalf of the employee by the company, so that at the time of retirement, after the lengthy employment, he or she gets a defined benefit or some kind of gratuity. What the amount is known as gratuity or pension that we go around it. Now comes the additional benefits. So additional benefits is a wellness program in keeping with rather sick, if there are medical issues that comes around it, if there are any other exigencies that he or she may occur with his or her family, there might be some ex gratia payment that comes around it. Similarly, childcare programs wherein people or employees are assisted with the tuition fees. Cafeteria style benefits allow employees to choose actually some kind of food, protein, lunch, meal, any dinner, as they really want to do it at a much subsidized rate. You don't have to pay the going rate or the market rate that might be chosen around it. This has been extended by the company towards the facilitation to facilitate its employee. Remember, quality foods have been served at a subsidized rate. So, executive compensation. Most senior executives receive their compensation in either of the two forms. One is cash, which is basic salary, and another in form of performance. And that is what an incentive is all about it. So we need to go around and think about it. Am I clear? I hope this makes sense to you. So we come to the legal issues in compensation. What are the legal issues? Please understand the law of the land needs to be followed to maintain minimum wage, minimum overtime, and child labor time and again. That is one which we need to go across it. HR manager must adhere to overtime laws. If people are working beyond the stipulated office hours, if people are working beyond certain mandatory programs, or probably they're working on the alternative shift or shift, maybe a late night shift, they should be paid overtime, they should be paid and compensated adequately. With this, I come to an end of this particular presentation. Thank you for watching.